Good evening, everyone. We'll call the public hearing regular city council meeting Tuesday, June the 13th in order. At this time, I would invite anyone that wishes to participate in council to join us in the invocation, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Councilman Wilson, would you deliver our invocation?
Father, we come this afternoon to say thank you for blessing this city. Thank you for blessing each and every person that's in this room tonight. We pray, Lord, for all mankind, wherever they may be. We ask that you come into this meeting, let it be a meeting of success. Let it be for the citizens of this city. And then, Lord, touch each and every heart and every mind, and let us do the best that we can for this city. We pray for all mankind, wherever they may be. These are our blessings we ask in your name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Please be seated. Okay. The chair will entertain a motion to waive the reading and approve the minutes of the May 9, 2017 regular city council meeting and May 25, 2017 special city council meeting. So moved. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed by nay. The ayes have it. Item 4 on our agenda is presentations, recognition of new hires, and promotions, Madam Manager. What have you?
I don't think there are.
In that case, promote the police chief to the acting director of fire operations.
I don't know if I'm man enough, Mr. Mayor.
Your word's not mine, sir.
Thank you.
Good to see you, Chief.
Good to see you.
Okay, then we'll move into proclamations. We have two guests here for Men's Health Month. And Darnell, are these are yours? Does everybody have one of those? So why don't you all come up and you can tell us about what you've given the council now. Bring this bill you come to? Sure.
First, thank you very much for having
Let
us.
me introduce you.
Oh, sorry.
Darnell
It's going to take one of my 2 minutes.
is on the presentation team for the All-America City Award, so you were part of making it all possible.
Thank you
So
so
thank
much.
you. And Bill is the new fearless CEO of Carolina Pines. Just bought a house in the city limits.
Yes.
Don't about to, are still not registered to vote in your district yet. But so we're glad to have you welcome to town officially, and Madam, the floor is yours.
All right, thank you so much. So June is Men's Health Month, and June 16th is actually Wear Blue for Men's Health. And as you probably know, men die of heart disease at a rate of 7 times higher than women. Prostate cancer is on the rise in African American men. Your prostate needs to be checked beginning at age 50. So there's a lot on the website. You can get connected through darlingtoncountyfirststeps.org, but we want you to promote men getting checkups, getting physicals, and being well.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Anything you want to add?
You know what? I support this 100%. I think this is a wonderful initiative. Darnell was telling me about it, and we want to do everything that we can to be supportive of all healthcare efforts in our community. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. We totally believe that. Get checked. It's worth it.
So if you want to be a healthy male, you can join F3.
Yes.
Come work out at 5:30 in the morning
Exactly.
with all the guys, and we'll get Bill there.
Eat a lot, sit a lot, weigh a lot, be fit.
You fit. So I want to present y'all with the Men's Health Month proclamation, and thank you all for coming. Thank you
Thank
so
you so
much.
much, man. Thank you. Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Thank you all. Oh, I'm sorry, did you need a picture of them? Right. I'm still at peak weight, so
Okay.
sign me up for, I'm going to start working out.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Put water in your koozie. Sorry. Okay, Tree City, oh wait, that's good. The Tree City Award Lois Edwards with the South Carolina Forestry Commission is here with our #1 arborist and 25-time Tree City, 31-time Tree City arborist.
It gives me great pleasure to be here tonight and to come to City Council meeting because on behalf of the South Carolina Forestry Commission and the National Arbor Day Foundation to present the City of Hartsville for the 31st year the Tree City USA Award. It's been a tough 3 years, and so it's really nice to come to City Council and thank you for your leadership and your support and your budget for the urban forestry program with the ice storms and the hurricane wind events and the water events we've been having. It's really been a challenge to manage trees, but fortunately, Stephen and the staff of Hartsville does a fabulous job of preventing and looking out for the trees before things happen and then managing them after events. And so it's really been a good time to come to City Council. It takes 4 things to be a Tree City USA, and Hartsville has been doing them for 31 years. First is to have a department that manages for the City of Trees, and again, you have an arborist on staff, and that's a great thing. Then also you have a tree ordinance that says it's not just about the private trees, but the public trees. The City of Hartsville says they are going to maintain and manage their public trees, and so that includes things in the parks, along the streets, and so there's quite a few of them. The third thing is to spend $2 per capita. And Hartsville does this in a very responsible way. They remove hazard trees, they plant new trees, they look at new designs for streets, they do volunteer work, that all factors in for the garden clubs and the things like that. They do their part. They also just prune and manage what you have, and that's the biggest part of the budget that needs to maintain what you have. It's not all about planning if you can't take care of what you have. So you have a good balanced budget. And then the fourth thing is the nice one, and the first Friday in December is South Carolina's Arbor Day, and you need to celebrate that, and every year you do. So those are the 4 criteria, but then this year, over and above that, you have gotten for the 2nd year a growth award, and that means you have gone over and above. So what Stephen applied for was the education things and some new initiatives that they're not in that regular budget that he has done that have really shown the Arbor Day Foundation that you're a growing, good Tree City. So I'm very proud of what Hartsville does and your staff and your leadership. So I'll present that to you.
Give it to the arborist. That's kind of him that we've got.
And
So.
if you want to open that up, Stephen, there's all kinds of stickers and all that go on the signs.
I think the mayor needs the hat.
Okay. Thank you. Congratulations.
Take a picture holding the flag up if you want. That's a nice hat, too.
So, like I say,
That's a really pretty thing. Yeah,
you're all are in the background, maybe.
Sorry, no, I was just a little bit tabled away. There
Right. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
I
Steve,
want to
thank
thank
you.
Thanks again for what?
Also, just mentioned Dr. Tucker, who is very passionate about getting trees planted.
And it's one of the best nonprofit groups in the state.
Yeah,
Does that.
absolutely.
You all have been doing it a long time.
Stephen, thank you. And congratulations on the added award as well. Thank you. Okay, we are moving forward with the manager's update. Madam Manager.
Just a couple items. I spoke with DOT today about the roundabout, because a month ago they promised us that we would have a pre-construction meeting. They have still not set the date for the pre-construction meeting, so it's just pushing the roundabout further and further out. They promised me another update next week. Intersection improvements, so we took bids for the three intersections out here. June 29th, we'll bring them to council for approval. It's close to budget, a little bit higher than we had hoped, but we're gonna try to manage that and get it down a little bit, so within our budget. Lincoln Village demo will be in July and August, and staff will be putting out door hangers just to notify people that they're monitoring the air quality and that it's, we're being safe. So that will happen next month and into August. I can add that to the list. We just talked about air quality, but we can put that on there.
Gosh, can we take the stage out there and have like a celebration that we tear it down? Okay, anything further?
We will do something to assure them about water issues too, but.
Okay. Okay, thank you. All right, items for the consent agenda will be received as information. If there is no objection, is approved. Moving into unfinished business, public hearing and final reading of ordinance 4291 that the manager will publish.
It's an ordinance of the city of Hartsville, South Carolina, amending and restating section 10-38 of the city's code of ordinances as most recently enacted by ordinance number 4115, dated May 7, 2013, to provide for the further implementation and adoption of the 2015 International Property Maintenance Code as amended, amending Chapter 54 nuisances, Article 3, General Property Grounds Maintenance, pursuant to Section 10-38, and other matters related thereto.
Okay, you've heard the reading by title and presentation of the city manager. At this time, the chair will open the public hearing. If you'd like to be heard on ordinance 4291, if you rise, come to the front, state your name and address for the record, and please limit your comments to 2 minutes or less. Hearing that there are none, chair will close the public hearing and entertain any motions from the floor.
Mr. Mayor, make a motion to pass ordinance 4291.
There's a motion, is there a second? There's a second, is there any discussion? Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Mayor, I would like to make, I guess it would be an amendment or a motion, because there's some things in here that are conflicting that I think we need to further look at.
Okay.
I will pass it, but I want to be able to have the judge right to make amendments.
Well, so this is final reading, so it would have to be reintroducing a new ordinance to amend this ordinance, which you can do, for sure. Does that make sense? Okay. Is that okay? All right. So is there any further discussion? Good. Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed by nay. Ordinance carries final reading. Item 7 on the agenda, public hearing and final reading of ordinance 4292. Manager will publish.
Authorizing the establishment of a City of Hartsville Industrial Park, the execution and delivery of certain industrial park market and development agreements in connection thereto, the execution and delivery of certain option contracts for the purchase of land that will comprise the aforementioned city industrial park consisting of approximately 225 acres and other matters and other related matters.
All right, you've heard the reading by title and presentation of the city manager. This time, the chair will open the public hearing. If you'd like to be heard on ordinance 4292, if you will rise, state your name and address for record, come to the front, and please limit your comments to 2 minutes or less. Hearing that there are none, the chair will move to close the public hearing and entertain any motions from the floor.
Mr. Mayor, make a motion to pass ordinance 4292.
There's a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed by nay. The ordinance carries final reading. Moving on to new business. Resolution 6-17-01, approval for the Hartsville Police Department to enter into a mutual aid agreement with the City of Florence Police Department. Is there such a motion on the resolution?
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to pass resolution 06-17-09.
There's a motion on the floor. Is there a second? Second. All right, is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed by nay. The ayes have it. Resolution 61701 is passed. Item 9 on your agenda. Resolution 617-02, approval of a memorandum of understanding with Adventure Incorporated. Is there such a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion on the resolution?
Has there been any preliminary time that they're gonna officially announce this?
They spoke with the major fundraising group last week and hope to have something within the next 3 to 4 weeks was their projection.
Just a little bit more fundraising is what we're looking at?
And you'll have something after executive session that will take care of updating the building, and then they can move forward. That's really what they're waiting on, is passing this tonight, it's gonna be helpful for them, and then they can move forward.
So it's still a secret or it's not a secret? Where are we?
It can't be a secret now.
Major donors have not been announced yet?
Oh, they haven't.
No, and
We're
so
still, yeah. Thank you,
they
John.
will be doing a large tech presentation and inviting the press and all that to make a formal announcement, but it's pretty obvious what's happening.
Okay. All right. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed by nay. The ayes have it. Item 10 on the resolution 6. Item 10. Resolution 617-03, approval of distribution of state local accommodations tax revenue. Is there such a motion?
So moved.
Second. Is there any discussion on the resolution? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed by nay. Resolution 617-03 carries. Item 11 on the agenda, resolution 617-04, approval to purchase an F-250 pickup truck with Parcan dump body from Vic Bailey Ford per state purchasing contract. Is there such a motion?
So moved.
Second. Is there any discussion? Does anybody want to know what Parcan dump is? It's a mini trash truck that goes into the back of a pickup truck. So what's really neat about this is we have streets that the trash truck cannot get down, has to back out 200 yards. Now this will allow them to pick it up certain areas of the city very quickly and efficiently while the trash truck is still moving. So we have gone from one level of efficiency with grounds and yard debris, and now we've just upped it to another level of efficiency.
So now we should be able to close the, Main Street.
That has been part of that discussion.
Yes, yes. Yep.
That is the goal, is to close that because we'll be able to use this.
Yep,
Main Street.
yeah, that's right. Okay,
And fortunately / unfortunately, we had a truck burn, and so we're using insurance proceeds to buy this item and the next one on your agenda.
is that your call? No, sorry. Sorry about that. Okay, if there's nothing further, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed by nay? The ayes have it. The Parcan dump body is coming. Item 12 on your agenda, resolution 61705, approval of a bid award to Amic Equipment to refurbish garage truck number 80, garbage truck number 88, also known as the truck that burned.
No, this is actually another one that.
Another truck that burned.
No, I don't think it burned.
Oh, good. Let's refurbish
It just needs, can I speak?
Yes, ma'am.
It just needs a new, the engine part and the chassis is great. It just needs a new end, a new body part for it, the rear loader to be replaced. It's old and it doesn't work, hydraulics are gone on it.
Worn out.
And so it would be, that truck will last us several more years and we can get a body for it much cheaper than buying a new truck altogether.
Okay. Any, is there such a motion?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed by nay. Resolution carries. Item 13 on the agenda, resolution 6-17-06, approval of a bid award for utility relocations for Carolina Traffic Circle.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed by nay. Is there some question about it?
Mike Hannah's here if you have any questions about it.
I think this is also known as the Holt Roundabout. This, no, that's, I'm pretty sure it was Mayor Holt.
We got any figures?
Well, we do have some figures. Did you want to discuss those now further? We've got an information packet that's not addressed in this, it is addressed in this,
I don't know the total cost of the run, but we're not putting that bill, this is just for the utility relocation.
right, I think you're talking about whether we upfit the additional piping and all of that.
You want Mike to speak on
Okay, Mr. Hammond,
Yes,
would you mind?
we received 3 different bids, one on replacing all the water lines, one on the sewer lines, and one replacing the manholes. And we recommend going with the water and the sewer lines, but leaving the manholes off to a future date.
Okay,
And that amount is $681,195. And there were 3 bids received on the project, $681,000, $1,019,000, and $1,273,000. So it was a substantially lower price. That's what we recommended, $681,195.
wow, okay. Does that answer your question, Councilman? Any further discussion about that? Madam?
For the cost to, it would cost residents any more monies, any more funds, any increases or anything like that.
Well, I'm sure everything eventually drives towards the need to do that.
it. This is coming out of fund balance. We have no choice but to relocate the water lines. Because we're in their right of way.
I understand.
Just to be clear on the separation, this is for the relocation, but not the extra upfitting that we talked about, that was the overage.
This is for the sewer line too. Since the road will be open, we might can speak on that, but we'd rather be best to go ahead and replace that. Because the cost obviously will go up and we'll have to bear all the costs, once it's closed and we have an issue at the site. So this will come out of fund balance, it's not, budgeted this year, but we have enough money to cover the cost.
Does that answer your question? All right. Anything further from Mr. Haynes? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed by nay. The resolution carries. Item 14 on the agenda, Resolution 6-17-07, approval of the bid award for wayfinding signage for the city of Hartsville. You have before you an example in your packet. Is there such a motion?
So moved.
Second. Is there any discussion? Hearing that there is none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed by nay. The ayes have it. This is going to be a really great thing, so thank you all for working so hard on it. Item 15 on the agenda, Resolution 6-17-08, approval to apply for a 2017 Bulletproof Vest Partnership Grant for the purchase of bulletproof vests for the Hartsville Police Department. Is there such a motion?
Mayor, make a motion that we pass resolution 06-17-08.
Thank you, Madam. Is there a second? Is there a second? Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed by nay. Resolution carries. Item 16 on the agenda, Resolution 6-17-09, designated a section of downtown Hartsville, South Carolina as Arts Commission Cultural District.
Make a motion to pass resolution 06-17-09.
Is there any discussion?
What will it be?
Representative from Blackfoot Arts is here, so I'd like them to speak on.
Okay. Welcome.
Thanks, Mr. Mayor, for having me. Council, now I'm here on behalf of Black Creek Arts Council. This has been a great endeavor that we've undertaken in conjunction with the city of Hartsville. I have several members of the steering committee with me here today. I'm grateful for them for coming. I have included several documents for the corporate district and what it is, some of the goals, which include, of course, driving people to our downtown area, economic incentives, cultural development, really bridging the gaps, well, for lack of a better term, gaps, between the community and entities such as Cooper College, the Governor's School, the South Hartsville area in particular. We've been working on this project for maybe 6 or 7 months now, and we're already seeing great partnerships between, say, the museum and the South Hartsville area. They're very interested in expanding their displays and whatnot. The same with Sunoco, working on ways to preserve their history while still updating their displays with the museum and show the future. I think the best thing is just to ask what questions you might have I can answer.
I've got one.
Sure.
In the, I guess, the state code or whatnot that talks about setting up the district, it mentions that preservation and reuse of historic buildings is one of the goals. And in the resolution, it mentions that there are over 20 historical sites and landmarks registered with the National Register within Hartsville.
Yes, sir.
Yet, the map does not include all of those of the cultural district. So I was asking about disconnect between those two items.
Sure. The map that I've provided is not all inclusive yet. So we are still we have a cultural asset list that we're currently compiling, and that's where the number came from, around 20-ish. This was approved by Brian Ganey, who's with the Darlington County Historical Commission. He verified all those were indeed and within the physical boundaries. Yes, sir.
The 20 on the National Register are within the
Yes, sir.
district. Does the district include the north side of Home Avenue? My map is kind of blurry here, so
I apologize for that.
just thinking of one.
When you say the north side of Home Avenue, sorry.
North side of Home Avenue.
So going,
It looks like it splits Home Avenue, so I was just wondering.
it is going straight up Home Avenue. So this at the bottom corner, these 6th Street, where 6th and Home meet, going all the way up to the north or to 2nd Street of Home.
What I'm asking you, does it go up the roadway or does it go on the properties adjacent to the roadway?
This, I'm sorry.
Both sides.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, both sides. Yeah, absolutely. I apologize. Yes, both
Okay.
sides.
That was my question. From the map, it looked like it went right down the roadway. And
Well,
we need to go back a property or two to get some historic
Right.
buildings that are within that.
Well, this is
National Register.
sure. And while this is a physical boundary, we are looking at both sides of that line. So, for instance, on Home Avenue, we have the line, and we have first back the church on one side, as
A
well
lot of
as
buildings, particularly what I was thinking about, which is, way back of their lot.
right. Yeah. So it's a physical boundary, but we're pulling in entities from all of Hartsville. So that we're including as many of those historical that are landmarks as possibly is there.
So I guess I'm asking if there was a historical landmark not within this mostly downtown district. At some point, would the district be expanded to include that? Because 20 properties, I was just going through my mind what the 20 properties might be.
Sure.
It seems like, as we go all the way down Home Avenue, it would include part of College, the 300 block of College. I don't know if that's on here or not.
It is, yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, and the great thing about this is it can be, well, it has to be renewed within 5 years. So we're going to continuously look at this and see what needs to be adjusted. One of the main qualifications for this is that it has to be walkable, which is why it's the perimeter that it is. But that's not to say, and we'll mention also that we did leave the old formal building out, but this is just right outside of the boundary. But if you're walking down that area, while the intent is to have people walk to the very end, they can easily walk further and still visit, or I guess see the
So what street is the western boundary? You mentioned 6th Street?
Yes, sir.
So the 300 block of College would not be,
The 200 block
it would not include that.
of
Sixth Street
east
is-
of College, sorry.
Right.
That's the old historic.
Right.
It is not it's typically on the borders. So we have the old historical Clifford district, and then this is of course the borders. But while this is again just a physical property or boundary, we're looking for ways to incorporate some of those historical assets that might be on the either side.
And I think that the museum has done a good
Absolutely.
work up on those,
Yes.
including the owners and when they were built and all that.
Yes, sir.
And thinking that would be a natural walkable boundary there
Yes.
within that 300 block of College if it's left off.
Are there any vacant lots on that, within that boundary?
Vacant lots, I don't believe we've come across them yet. If you'll let me, we haven't come across any vacant lots, have we?
No, the only one that I can think of at the moment is the one that's on the corner of, it's on the corner of College and Sixth, I think.
At the churches.
There would be some with the boundaries, of course, on Sixth, that would be across the street from Jerusalem Baptist, but it would be, like he's saying, where that boundary line is, the properties across the street would be, Jerusalem is on the, it's kind of the, South Sixth Street is kind of the boundary. I think it's on your western, your most western boundary, and so the property across the street from that would be vacant lots. But for the most part, the properties on the interior, there were very few vacant lots within those. So there may be a few, but there's not very many.
The ask was for relocation purposes.
Right. And if you since you mentioned this, I will point this out that there is absolutely no red tape or regulations as to what can come into the district, and really that's one of the great incentives of this, is that we're hoping to increase either businesses, studios, performance spaces, things like that, and welcome them into the district.
So you could literally come back next month with, after a look at some of these other properties we've mentioned, to expand the district. Is it that easy?
I won't say that really, I think what we're looking now, and this is in conjunction with a representative from the South Carolina Arts Commission, we've decided that this is the most feasible boundary as is, because like I said, it is so walkable, and it does include so many of the great assets that we have in Hartsville. And like I mentioned, we're working to bring those entities in. If it proves over the next few years that we want to re-look at the map and redraw it, that is absolutely an option. It doesn't have to be passed through regulation or through or resolution again, absolutely not. It just has to be updated with the.
So there's not a state sign off on this?
As far as the actual culture district, yes.
Well, I mean, once we pass the resolution, if we do so, if you add it to it, is there a state sign off on adding to the cultural district?
When we go to present this the goal is to present this at the fall meeting for the South Carolina Arts Commission's Board of Governors. We'll present everything that has been, and it stays as is until 5 years from now when we reapply.
Are you asking if you made a motion to amend the resolution to change the boundaries, what would happen?
Well, yeah, that's what I'm wondering, and so in the resolution, you mentioned 20 properties, and I'm trying to go through my mind, what those properties are, and if the majority
if you would like, I would gladly send that list over to there tomorrow.
That always helps if we actually know,
Sure.
Just not just 20 properties out of the air, but actually know what the properties are. And the reason I asked about the vacant lots, because I just recently found out that there's a historical home on Bell Avenue that was bought here from Charleston. It's about the demo, on asked me about if it could be relocated. I don't know if it could, but that's why I asked.
Okay, Mr. Mayor, Pro Tem, members of the right.
I'd really like to see what the list of properties are.
Okay.
I mean, if you're presenting in September,
It'll be October.
Is there any grants or anything dependent upon us passing it tonight? Between now and then?
There is not currently. I will mention there is, of course, no cost attached to this. It's totally free.
He's asking if we table
Sure.
tonight so he can see the list. Is that going to put?
I don't want to put you in a bind, but I would like to see the list. I'm pretty historically minded and
Sure.
kind of like to.
Okay.
And it's unclear here exactly what I'm looking at.
Okay.
Or either a list of properties and the addresses would be good.
Yeah, if you'll just give me 1 second to approve my binder, I might have.
We have a special meeting on the 29th.
Yeah, we could
Bring
put
this
it in.
back instead of
That wouldn't
waiting
put you too far behind. We've got a meeting on the 29th.
This month.
Yes.
Okay. If you would like to wait till then, that's okay.
Yeah, that'd be fine if we could do that. I just had these questions and I didn't see the answer anywhere in here, so.
Are there any other questions that I can take note of, and I'll make sure to get the answers for you in the meantime to present everything.
No, I think you, you know, if we're not holding up anything, that was a fear. And let progress there. And thank you for doing this. This is going to be important. The Mayor Pro Tem like to put that in the form of a motion.
Yes, sir. Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to table this resolution to the meeting on the 29th.
Is there any discussion on the motion to table the resolution 617-09? Hearing none, all in favor of tabling the resolution signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed by nay. The item is tabled. Thank you for your time tonight.
Thank you.
So if you will get with the clerk, she'll get you in touch with Johnny and Teresa's. Well, I mean, because y'all have specific questions about property, and we'll all get a copy of that list, but for their specific questions, I will make sure y'all get together so we can move this into the special meeting. Madam Clerk, if you'll put it on the agenda for that special meeting so we don't delay them. Okay, thank you kindly. All right, item 17 on the, yes. Item 17 on the agenda, first reading of ordinance 4293, an ordinance, the manager will publish.
An ordinance to approve incentives for Clark area High Cotton Homes for new single-family dwellings located in the strategic investment overlay zone at 400 Norwood Avenue, tax map number 056 1102 011, 406 Norwood Avenue, tax map number 056 1102 068, and 410 Norwood Avenue, tax map number 056 1102 069.
Okay, you've heard the reading by title and presentation of the city manager of ordinance 4293. Chair will entertain any motions from the floor.
Mr. Mayor, make a motion to pass ordinance 4293.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion?
Hold on.
Norwood is in
The Oakdale community,
historic.
council previously gave the incentive for another new build in the neighborhood right next door to this. It's a yellow home, I'm not sure if you've seen it. It's sold and he's wanting to build more.
Second.
And if you'll remember, we have two neighborhoods that are eligible for this strategic investment zone. South Hartsville neighborhood and the Oakdale community, because both are low to moderate income areas.
Correct.
This will be available to anybody who wants to build, not just him.
It's available to anyone to apply. You have to, it has to match the character of the neighborhood, the home. And it's not a lot of money back, but it's 100% of the tap fee and 50% of your building permit fee back.
But this, to answer your question, this does apply specifically to him, but it is applicable to anybody who wishes to apply to strategic investment overlay districts. And we have a map if you'll see that we can send it out. Rebating or waiving some fees, tap fees. Yes. But it has to be some fees.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
just,
Right.
it's just their
Construction
tap
rate.
fee and half of their building permit fee. It's not a lot of money we're talking about. And what he does is he says he lowers the price of the home, to make it a little more affordable. He gives a credit back on whatever is approved to the homeowner.
And he has to spend these costs up front.
It's a rebate.
It's a rebate, so he does spend it up front.
So you can drop the price and give that back to the homeowner?
That is what he's showing, yes.
And I think the last one we did, I think it was only around 1,500. It's not.
Yeah, it's not substantial, but every little bit helps in
No.
development.
Well,
It's great.
I just saw one in South Hartsville that had been redeveloped, $60,000. After it was redeveloped, it went down to 40. I checked it the other day, it was 20. And I told you that would happen.
20, the sale price?
20,000, the value.
Yeah.
And I told you that would happen. The lower value, get lower tax. Yeah, after they redid that.
Ms. Mack, this particular program, I like to call the infill ordinance. We have a lot of vacant properties and it gives the developer an incentive to put forth.
I understand that.
Okay, is there any further discussion on ordinance 4293? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed by nay. First reading of ordinance 4293 passes. Item 18 on the agenda, first reading of ordinance 4294. The manager opposed.
Amending the 2016-2017 fiscal year budgets.
Any further reading by title, presentation of city manager, chair will entertain motions from the floor.
Make a motion to pass ordinance 4296. Excuse me, 94, I'm sorry.
Is there a second? Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed by nay. Ordinance passes. First reading. Item 19 on the agenda, first reading of ordinance 4295, the manager will publish.
Ordinance to amend chapter 70 solid waste, article 1 in general, section 70-3 commercial solid waste users fee.
Further reading by title and presentation of city manager, chair will entertain any motions from the floor.
Make a motion to pass ordinance 4295.
Is there any discussion?
I just want to point out, this is not raising rates, this is keeping them the same, just the wording of the last ordinance does not allow us to carry it over into future fiscal years. There is no increase in fees.
And if that's for just the 17, 18, 19 could be different.
No, the way I worded this one is so that until we're ready to change, this is what I'm gonna say, until we present another ordinance. So we will have to do this again each year. Next one would just be a change.
If there's no further discussion, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed by nay. First reading passes. Item 20 on the agenda. First reading of ordinance 4296, the manager will publish.
It's an ordinance to adopt a budget for the city of Hartsville, South Carolina for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2017 and ending June 30th, 2018.
Further reading by title and presentation of city manager, chair will entertain motions from the floor.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to pass ordinance 4296.
Is there any discussion on the ordinance?
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to amend 4296 under section 1, item A, change the wording, amend to $9,950,207, which is a difference of $3,035 for adjustment and deduction of water sewer transfer into the general fund.
Okay, there's a motion to amend ordinance 4296, section 1, subsection A, as stated by the mayor pro tem. Is there a second to his motion?
Second.
Is there any discussion on the amendment?
This comes at recommendation of staff.
Always passing the buck.
Yeah, I didn't think of this.
It was lowering the budget.
I'm lowering the budget.
Now he wants to take credit for it. Okay, is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed by nay. The ordinance stands amended. Are there any further amendments or further discussion on ordinance 4296 as amended? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed by nay. The ordinance as amended stands and carries. Item 21 on the agenda is a motion to enter executive session pursuant to South Carolina Code of Freedom of Information Act, section 30-4-70, paragraph A, subparagraph 1 and 2, for the discussion of committee appointments and for receipt of legal advice relating to city-owned property at 146 West Carolina Avenue, and discussion of negotiations incident proposed contractual arrangements of proposed purchase of property for a pride park fence and potential industrial park contractual arrangements. Is there such a motion? Is there any discussion? Is there a second? Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed by nay. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your time this evening. We stand in executive session.